Today, I feel called upon actively engaging in the creation of the 21st and 22nd century. Evolution is the change in inherited characteristics of biological population over successive generations. Civilization is a society with a high level of cultural and technological development. My claim is that eco-civilization is much more than just a hope, more than just a dream, and it has to do with more than just you and I. And I would dare to challenge everyone that could potentially be a ticket for our existence. What is so different about this dream? I do believe that more and more of us are feeling it, sensing it, acting upon our some sort of inner call. I think it's time to start living slightly differently, to be more connected to the living world around us, to be in balance with the planet, with the universe, with ourselves, and of course, our fellow humans. The way how we are pushing our planet, the way how we are pushing our limits is just not sustainable. How could we, human beings, planet, our consciousness, cooperate better in order to ensure that the humans and other beings can really develop at its full potentials? I feel that this time civilization or paradigm will not happen and will not emerge from a continent like it was in the past, but it will emerge from the global consciousness. I feel that new civilizational paradigm has a very clear mission. Firstly, to create planet Earth as an ecozone of the entire universe. And secondly, I do believe that we are destined to populate the universe. That's why part of my dream is that we will lead eco-civilization to a much deeper understanding. We will develop our awareness in a much more holistic way. We will be holistic enough to also develop structures and systems within which we organize ourselves. And of course, to make sure that we are a committed, a relationship-based society with collaboration at its heart, where really the only principle is that this collaboration never ends. We focus on beings. What if land is in focus, not in industrial need? Together with other beings is land on which we live and society around which we organize. And then, of course, the consciousness that accumulates all our knowledge, all our experiences, relationships within each of these entities and relationship between these entities. Imagine now that our systems are organized this way. Circular economy is one of the relationships. It's one iteration, one element of the entity relationship, which has extremely important impact on being, society, and land, and how we interrelate with each other.
What we are saying is that you can create profits, what we call to be proud of. I would like to highlight not about resource efficiency, it's not about recycling, it's about creating value together that should maximize the value of the products and materials and minimize or even avoid the depletion of the, let's say, natural resources in order to create a positive societal and the environmental impact. We cannot do this alone. We have to collaborate. We have to find relations between people, between organizations. That's not what we did before and what we call a linear economy, where we take something and we take from nature basically, or we take from people at the cost of something, then we make something, we create something, and it could be a product, then we use it, we buy it, we like it to buy a lot, and then at the end we say, or even not at the end, we say, okay, we just dispose it and then it's waste. The world is now only 8.6% circular. How can we accelerate towards a circular economy? How can we accelerate towards this great dream of eco-civilization, which is not a dream, it's already there, but we have to make more steps there. It's important that we see our economy differently. So from a company point of view, but also from a personal point of view, we have to see how this works in the boundaries of a society and of the environment. On one side, we should have a social foundation that should be in balance with also our ecological ceiling. So what can we absorb to make sure that we don't overuse, or what we call during the overshoot day, more planets than we really have. It's like a banking account. We cannot use more money than we have on the bank. We see the whole eco-civilization or the circular economy more from a risk point of view, or maybe from what we call an eco-efficiency point of view or a cost reduction point of view. But I would like to invite you to move to the next level and say, how can we create more circular business models, or even go beyond that and make sure that we also restore what we take and going to more generative systems. But the question is, how can we make the next step together? And do we also believe that business can be force for good? It's important that we stick to the sustainable development goals, the 17 goals, and that we also look, if we run a business, what will be our impact on one of those goals? How can we improve responsible consumption, but also in the production? What does it mean for your supply chain? Let's take the next step, and everything I just mentioned here, some points, but look at the right side of this and take that as a starting point. You really have to start with yourself. It's about your personal leadership. It's not about a leadership like looking above what's happening centrally or from a government or organizational point or from a CEO level. No, it starts all with you and today. What would be the action you're going to take tomorrow? And we have a very big, ambitious goal and a dream. But what's the concrete action I can take tomorrow? We need a big ambition, but on the other hand, we have to make it small again. Otherwise, it's the danger that's too big and that people freeze and say, okay, I cannot do anything about this. To make the first and the next steps in order to innovate for a more, let's say, a circular economy and towards eco-civilization. First of all, determine your North Star, determine what you would like to achieve. Start with your 5 Ps. Create a roadmap with scenarios. What can we do tomorrow in a way that we are going to experiment and learn and improve? And we learn, improve, learn, improve. Big ambition, but make it small and start tomorrow. My wish would be that business really look different, that they don't start focusing on only creating money at the cost of something, that they start something else, and that they look at, okay, what would be my added value for society, or what would be my added value for the natural environment? You can make it smaller and bigger, and from there creating business, creating value.
I think that when we reach the full scale of eco-civilization, I think we will jointly deal with the health issues that remain and really focus jointly, not in a competitive manner, but in the joint effort to eliminate as many of them as possible. Rely on the planet. We are part of the ecosystem. Ecosystem has the answers, and we can learn from the previous civilizations.
It is around already, and whether we are connected or not, it is already there. Basically, economy thinks the world is circling around business. But what we could see during the crisis now, if we only buy what we need, economy is crashing. So what does this tell us about economy, and what does this make us in the economy? And us is society. This is what I mean is happening around economy, and this is where economy is sourcing from. This is where the employees are and come from. This is where consumers come from, and this is actually what economy is working for, because this is partly, at least, their market. As we can see now, this may not be the full story, but definitely if change in society is happening, something is happening to the economy. In this extent, I think that the COVID crisis was a really interesting lecture for economy to learn. They are not disconnected. They are very, very much interconnected and interdependent with society and, interestingly, with the environment. Is the getting back to normal a good idea? I think normal has failed us. The interesting part is all of a sudden there is a lot of money around, state money. But whose money is state's money? It's actually ours. It's the people's money. It's tax money. Our money should really be spent for the people because this is where it is coming from. The European community is definitely trying to build some sort of a new growth that is designed to give back more than it takes. A lot of people think that, oh, we just need to overcome this COVID crisis and then things will be all right and we can go back to normal again, which is not going the case. Because actually, yes, we will have to deal with the recession and we will have the chance actually to rebuild an economy that we want to see and an economy that is able or capable of being resistant or resilient or adaptive to the climate change that is waiting for all of us. It is utmost important to know that there are things out there waiting for us that we cannot sit out in our home offices. We have known this for a long time and we could have been or should be prepared by now. So if we move now, what would we bring to this future? And what do we need there? And what should we leave behind? Because we will not need it. Every time you move, you're leaving stuff behind, even stuff that you may got fond of over a very long time, because it doesn't match or fit into your new environment any longer. And as the environment has changed so much due to our recent decades of behavior, we should really know what we need in this new future. We need an economy that goes with people and the planet and works for people and the planet. We are the system and we can create it differently. All the resources that we have currently and that we are sourcing from, the environment, very important, society is a resource, especially in crises, because society is made by a fabric of relationship. We should handle and value those with care and foresight. And this is actually what economy originally meant. The ancient Greek word for oikos means house, and the nemo is manage. So economia really means household management. And our planet is our house. Many people that I can see around the globe have started to think about how can I contribute? And I think this crisis really triggered this in people. How can I contribute? Is there a purpose? What can I do? We are living off the capital. We are using the capital that we have. We are using currently 2.5 planets. And we radically need to change this because we need to live from the income and not from the capital. We spend more than we have, and we're exploiting resources to zero, and we're not leaving anything behind for future generations. The most valuable capital that we have is this planet that we're living on, because it provides us with everything that we need. We need to turn this vision into action. If we vision the future and have strategic dialogues and conversations on it, the purpose, why are we around, not only as individuals, but on all levels. What will the future look like? Where are we going? Why are we here? And what purpose do we serve? This is what makes a real game changer and how this can happen. Tools for this are already around. Scenario planning, strategic scenario planning is very important because there is not one future, because there are several sustainable futures. We need to learn to adapt and transform more quickly. Let's start with this now.
Stay open, because it is here. It is emerging. The drums are calling. Let's awaken our senses and memories. Let's free our inner truth, the capacity to learn, and just dare to go beyond.